Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your nerderator, Dustin House. Spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. You're going to find me here every Tuesday and Thursday at 12:15 Pacific time. So put it on the calendar and join me live with my guest. And my guest today is Drew Johnson, Business Development Director over at Everflow. Welcome to the Nerdatorium, Drew.
Howdy, howdy. Excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Outstanding. We're going to be doing some live Q&A, so if anybody wants to join in the chat, please drop a question from me and Drew. We are going to be happy to answer it about anything affiliate, partnerships, whatever you want to ask. Don't be afraid. We do not bite. If you would like to be in Drew's seat, come be my guest. Go to dustinhouse.com/nerd and toss out a topic that we can talk about. Our question of the day: for those brands out there, are you looking to track all of your marketing efforts in one place or just affiliate? What is the right answer? What is the right way to go about things? I want to know what brands are out there using, or ideally what they would like to be using. That's the big question of the day I'm going to throw in the chat. And without further ado here, Drew, who are you?
Great question. I am Drew Johnson. I am a director of business development at Everflow. I have worked at Everflow for about 5.5 years now, getting closer to 6, because that's how numbers work. Before that, I have worked in pretty much a little bit all over the space. I worked in a agency slash, I would say, network, where we were doing a lot when like mobile was getting big, as well as some like programmatic buys. Before that, I worked in a lead gen network where I was bringing on pubs and brands, both in pay-per-call and non-pay-per call. And then before that, my very first job in the industry was I was like flighting penny campaigns before there was any sort of like security measures for arbitraging traffic.
I want to get a little bit more into that in your career. That sounds really interesting. I want to hear a little bit more on that topic. But great intro on who you are. So I understand that you're biz dev over at Everflow, which is a product I really believe in and love and have been utilizing over the last year for a lot of my clients. And I want to know a little bit about who Everflow is. What is the name origin story to begin with? How did they get that name?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely has been great to have you over the past year. Been great to show you kind of all the stuff we can do. For name origin story, as we were talking before, I kind of scurried through our organization to see if anyone knew the story. We don't really have one. We have been the same since day one. Everyone has been Everflow. We might have changed the logos and brought somebody in to make those fancier. We've always been Everflow. A funny story about that: when I started, me and another guy by the name of Ross were the first salespeople on the team. We actually at one point were losing an SEO to a plumbing company. So for a while, when we were running beginning chat systems, I would get some people that would come in. They would ask if 3/4 inch copper would do better than 3/4 inch PVC. And, obviously I would do the due diligence of looking up to give them a better answer, but it was never going to be Everflow that would do the plumbing. So that was kind of how we started. Now today, we're either up the top or one of our competitors is bidding on us because we are at the top, both physically or mentally. But besides that, we've kind of started from being a small kind of bootstrap company that came from the founders who started one of the first mobile agencies around back when mobile was big. And then after that, they basically used the money from the buyout of that to start Everflow. The original founders and people are all there. And me, and I would say the next wave of people that did sales are pretty much all there as well. So we've all been growing steadily. And yeah, now we're at around, I would say 100+ people.
And oh, wow. Everflow. Nice. It's great to hear you have a fallback career in plumbing now that you have all that knowledge. That just shows how extra mile you go to assist. And
exactly. We go the extra mile here.
That is a hilarious story. I went through the same thing at Grovia. If you look up Grovia to this day, the diaper company came up first on SEO. So we had customer support asking about diaper and baby questions, which I thought was hilarious. And it's hard to beat that out, but it looks like you guys pulled it out. So Tell us a little bit more about Everflow. What do you guys do, and who are you serving out there?
Yeah, of course. So, at the end of the day, we are a tracking and attribution platform. We serve our clients by giving them as much visibility into all of their data that we can, whether it is influencer, media buyer, internal media buyer, third party media buyer, whatever you consider an affiliate, whether it's B2B partners, influencers, we're giving you a place to track all of that, and not just track all of that, but track it in real time.
Mm.
On top of that, we're giving you all the attribution you would need, both in the front end from an impression to a click, to everything downstream from the different events, from sales to purchases, installs, downloads, lead gen, you name it. We are serving, I would say, a ton of the lead gen, finance, insurance verticals, because of the way that we produce or where we display the data that they're running. We can give you a lot of the downstream event tracking that you need for a fraction of the price of the competitors. And then we do, of course, a ton with like e-com, Nutra, health, wellness, all of those standard verticals, where you have the option with us to set up multiple brands in one paid account, which is very different than some of our competitors, or the ability to just set up one brand with one branding and then give many different options for them to run offers and traffic.
That is awesome. And the clients I've been working with in the last couple of years, I always like to give them options. I never like to tell them where to go as far as when they're launching an affiliate program and what tracking solution to go with. I give them options, and so many of them are coming your way and sticking with you, which is a testament to your guys' product, and especially your price point. Like, you guys are early to this game and giving a much more affordable price point, which is for a lot of the same bells and whistles, which I absolutely love. So great to hear you guys are growing. Love the product and what you guys are doing there.
We love to hear it. We love to hear the love.
Awesome. So tell me more about this career beginning. You mentioned pennies. Is this like Abe Lincoln, or is this loafers? What is this penny talk?
Well, so it'd be fraction of the penny. So actually, pretty interesting enough, I worked originally in insurance. I hated the job. I stopped. I was like, okay, I can do sales. So I started working at they were, I think they were called digital something. But basically, we would buy arbitrage clicks and mostly monetize them on like bro dude sites. That would be like, hey, like, see these hot chicks drink beer. Here's 20 clicks kind of thing.
Okay.
During that time, it was my very first kind of foray into tech. And I worked in a WeWork during the time of the whole WeWork craziness. So when all the time of them flying people out and free events and everything, I was pretty much in the heat of WeWork lifestyle during that, in which I made friends from that lifestyle who were in this space. Told them I was looking for a new job, realized that my job wasn't really it, because all you really do is, you get somebody to give you $100 for a week. You flight penny click traffic to hope to arbitrage more viewers. A lot of it was fake. As soon as I knew enough about the industry, I kind of was like, okay, let me figure this out. Made some friends at WeWork. They gave me a job as a beginning salesperson. And then from there, just worked in lead gen and onward and upward.
Okay, awesome. That's an interesting beginning of a career. Like, I kind of saw that in the same kind of vein. I worked in the fraud development department, and I got to see a lot of the.
So we were racing then. We were definitely racing to see who could stop me from making money and who I can make money. That's definitely what we were doing about 10 years ago.
Maybe I took some money from you. I'm not positive. Like, who knows?
Who knows?
And then I went on to what I like to call the dark side, and joined a coupon site that was doing trademark bidding. And I saw that side of the thing and said, I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. And then I got to the brand and helping brands grow their program to what I do today. So always, that is a unique story, though. Like, getting that side must help you out in your career today in the biz dev development part, right?
I think a lot with like the different roles help me out is a lot with like vocab. I think what I've learned from like training our junior sales team here at Everflow is that the biggest issue for anyone, junior, senior, is like all the different vocab there is for all the different marketing spaces. So not just affiliate, but then, affiliate, influencer, what does affiliate mean to somebody who just has Amazon store? What does affiliate mean to somebody in Turkey? What does affiliate mean to somebody in China? What does affiliate mean 10 years ago versus B2B now? There's learning that lingo across all those different boards and all those different levels, from like a lead gen agency, flighting campaign stuff, definitely helps a lot with like the learning curve as you pick up new things.
So true. And every person that I meet at a conference that is in a different world, I always pick their brain, because even when you go to Affiliate Summit, there's a different type of affiliate out there, world that I'm just not as familiar with. And
Yeah.
I like learning about that kind of thing, just to be more knowledgeable in that space. It's interesting to me, at least.
Yeah, I always think about how little my parents know about this space, and think there's other people out there that are other people's parents of kids in tech. And so I just always assume no one knows what affiliate marketing means, and just go at it from usually what do I think the least barrier of entry is, and then explain more of my job and career as like new vocab unlocks.
Yeah. And I think as you progress in this career, that's sure the answer that gets, and the more precise it is. Like, what do you do? I'm in affiliate marketing. Some sites have traffic, other sites want traffic, and they pay commission to those people sending that traffic. Easy game at this point. Like, it's simple, but you still have to explain it to mom and sisters once a year. Every Christmas.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get into the main component of this episode, and that is network versus platform. And I want to talk about those main differences. Everflow is not a network. You guys are a tracking attribution platform. Tell me what's your definition of a network and platform, and maybe some of those main differences that you see out there.
Sure. Yeah. But definitely to kind of, I guess, follow up on that, you are correct. We don't, at the end of the day, call ourselves a network. We call ourselves the best in class for tracking and attribution. We definitely have a marketplace and network component for people to go through. But at the end of the day, the way that we look at what a definition of a network is somebody that is connecting brands they don't own with traffic they don't own. Pretty much a facilitating stage for both to get connected and run. A lot of, I would say, network performance and network scalability is based on how big their marketplace or network is. Does network A have more affiliates than network B? Well, then that means we have to have more success with network A. Where our difference is from coming at this angle is that we've always started, and we're always going to identify as a tracking and attribution platform first, because that's what we focused on. That's what we excel at. That's what we've, I would say, not perfected, but that's what's made us the gold standard in the space for what it is now of tracking and attribution. Unlike other networks, we run in real time, and we don't have conversion drop off as you have downstream events. We don't charge you to set up other events. We don't charge you to set up things in general. You get started with us, you get set up, you get a setup fee. There's monthly fees. Everything is pretty straightforward for what you need to get things going. You can track not just tapping into a marketplace or a network, but you can control your own sauce. You can basically set up your own influencers, partners on your own system, control that whole sign up, and even make it as kind of dummy proof for them as possible, so they don't even need to log in. You can just give them a tracking link. You can send them out the reporting and make it as easy as possible for whatever level of intelligent partner you have, or not even intelligent, but used to the industry you have. Like, there doesn't need to be a self-serve. You can eliminate that aspect. So we try to focus on giving you all of that data, running it all in real time, never having to look somewhere else for different reports, because we should be spitting them all out for you, but then giving you a place that you can be comfortable to know that's running real time, uptime 99.9%, SOC 2 compliance, all of this other stuff. So your data is safe, your data is running, and it's always running. And we're there to support you if there's anything that looks fishy or something's not up, with lots of levels of support that you can use and tap into.
Yeah. And I wouldn't call affiliates that are into tracking smarter necessarily. I don't know a lot of really dumb affiliates that are millionaires out there. I would say the word is sophisticated, right? Like, the more sophisticated and entrenched you get it in this industry, the more care you take with your data. And it's good to hear that you guys are taking care of the publishers as well as the advertisers out there.
Of course, as well as we also, a big thing with us is we were built with a very much API focus first. So a lot of people that are easy wins for us as a client is that if you have something internally built, an internal CRM, a backend, anything that's a different setup that maybe you haven't used the Shopify's or the standard apps flyer out there, which we can also integrate into, we can integrate into anything via API, webhooks, or postbacks. So all of those other options and types of different verticals out there, like a crypto, where there's a lot of different things, we can give them the capability to set up anything they want with as many different touch points pretty easily, which is a big
Yeah,
value add.
yeah, and it's so interesting. Like the good affiliates out there that have the traffic volume and the capabilities of being monsters are sometimes they don't want to go to outside sources outside of the main networks, and I think that is one of those main distinctions between networks and platform. The main ones, the CJs, your Impacts, your Rakuten, your Share Sales, everything in that nature falls under this. Well, Impact doesn't claim that they're a network, but they're a big guy at this point. So anyway, my point is they want main networks. The affiliates that are big, they want main networks that have the capability of the tracking attribution that they're looking for, the S2S and things of that nature. And I've never heard anybody decline Everflow, which is a good thing. If I'm running a program on Everflow, I don't have fightback. If I'm running a program on Post Affiliate Pro, then we have a problem like that. Then it's a conversation like you're trying to get a big publication like a CNET to come on. They don't say yes to that, but I still have not had an issue with any program on Everflow, which is good news for you guys.
Yeah, definitely a lot of growth. Definitely a lot of like, I think to your point, there's the world of certain people that will only run on a certain network. We are definitely rushing to fill that gap up on a lot of, if there are any of those out there. To your point, we can one-off set up everyone. So there is no reason to decline because you can run with us, whether you're part of our marketplace or not, part of our network or not. Yeah. We just try to make it easy where you don't even need to do a sign up. You can give somebody a link and set them up. And then they're pretty much off to the races and able to run.
Awesome. What would you say if I was having that issue as an affiliate manager? I'd run into the problem where, hey, you guys aren't on CJ or like I don't know why affiliates love Cake and like even though the technology might be a few steps behind UI wise. The affiliates still love that platform so much. So if I'm getting flack from an affiliate trying to sign them up for my affiliate program on Everflow, what's a way I can combat them and say like this is just as good, if not better, tracking solution than any network out there?
Yeah, for sure. Well, definitely we need to get you more of those recent Cake combos because we haven't gotten that complaint in a month from any Cake people for sure. Okay. But we do a lot of efforts for specifically that example with like a Cake or somebody. Back in the day, email publishers wanted things a certain way. They want to get their creatives, everything done the certain way so they can, make their lives easier. We were very flexible over the course of my time here to change and update to what those types of publishers wanted. So if there's any specifics besides the fact that they're just a big pub and they're putting their heels in the ground to say, hey, we're just not doing an integration right now. There's never going to be something on us that we won't fix or make available to make a publisher be able to use us. On top of that, we also provide a system that can be a paid account for a publisher. So we do have some big pubs that look at us and run us on a paid account because they set up multiple brands within their one system that maybe aren't on in us, or they're across multiple different networks and tracking solutions. For anybody who's maybe a bit more like pushing sand, feet in the dirt, kind of not want to really work, if they don't need an integration, they just need a link, you can very easily set somebody up manually, spit them out their tracking link, give them a coupon code, give them a QR code with us to make their life as easy as possible. So if there's whatever the amount of manual or personal work that the owner of the brand or a network or a pub can do to get another pub on, we can support all of that up to, doing an integration directly for that pub where we don't have access to their system. Everything else should be achieved and we can give them whatever metrics or tracking forms they are looking for.
Excellent. And one of those bigger deciding factors on the network and platforms, I would say one of the selling points the bigger networks have always said is like, this is how many affiliates we have on our network. And I've always seen that as a vanity metric. Like those affiliates could be 20 years old and the sites don't even exist, but they're still on the platform. And so you can say technically you have millions of affiliates
Yeah.
to choose from, but they're not going to be in your vertical and niche, and maybe they're not active anymore. Like, do you see that as a vanity metric as well? Because I'm sure you get that conversation a lot.
Yeah, great question. And definitely. We actually, it's funny, that's something that we dealt with a lot last year where we realized that somebody, like an Impact Share Sales, CJ was very much bringing to the table like, oh, we have like 18,000 pubs, we have 16,000 publishers, and we have a few hundred. So that was something that I think for somebody who's more in the beginning stages, that math makes sense. If you're just getting into affiliate, you understand the number 300, you understand the number 18,000, you go, well, for what little I know, this should be it. So where a lot of people, I think, as soon as they run in this industry for at least a year, you kind of learn that 90-10 rule or that 80-20 rule, where it's like most of your revenue, most of your profit comes from that 10% of the affiliates you have on the top line, and all the rest kind of trickles in from that side. What I would say is like, or at least what we do to combat that is we don't look at ourselves very much as a network, like I said. So we actually have the ability to connect and integrate with somebody like a ClickBank. So if you are like an e-com and Nutra product, we're not looking at ClickBank as the competition. We're looking this as like a symbiotic relationship where we're working together, providing a lot of the tracking and attribution that maybe they don't focus on. But then you can then get the data from them and tap into their hundreds of thousands of publishers and track all of that on us alongside anyone you're running in us.
Okay, cool. So you guys work in conjunction with other networks as well. That's a possibility of on a solution. That's great.
Correct.
So what are brands looking for if they're either launching or thinking about migrating their program? What are some of those deciding factors that they need to be looking at?
Well, definitely in this economy right now, pricing, that's, I would say, the biggest thing that we get. One of our main competitive factors is our pricing and how we can be very flexible on that to accompany different types of products and industries and setups. I would say from there, the next step is like internally what your program is. Are you a B2B affiliate program? Are you an influencer program? Do you run everything from your marketplace, or have you turned your referral program into an ambassador program that is something that you want to manage more? And I think it's a lot of the brand's internal look. And as I've worked on it more, a lot more of figuring out, do you really need a platform right now, or do you need an agency and then a platform? And I think the success that comes for like the deciding factor is where you are in your, I would say, your business growth chart. If you are coming on and you're saying, hey, we don't have a dedicated person to run affiliate, we want to turn this on and make money, there are companies like Pepperjam and Awin that are an agency built in that you can do that. You can then go to the next step of finding an agency that brings you success on the other places, like us, Impact Share Sale, as like a management. But it's really looking inward and looking at your account, I'd say, and be like, okay, we can do this. We have the bandwidth to do this. We want to do this. And then finally, the expectations. Have you done any research at all again about your competitors and what they're charging? Or are you looking to come in and go, hey, what do we pay out? Tell us and we'll just do it, or we'll tell you no. If I think it's the combo of kind of 2 and 3 where you need to have an expectation. Some people that I get from all the demos I do that are very like, hey, can you just send us all the data that like your top clients like us are running? Tell us what they're paying out, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. And it's like, no, we are a platform. You would use an agency or somebody that you're paying to specifically bring you success. You have to at least know at this point if you have a product that can work or any of that. So it's looking inward and understanding not just what your product is, but then understanding what the competition in the landscape looks like, so that it's like you can then look and see, who am I mad at, or who do I need to look at for the success? Me, the agency, the platform. But once you have that info, you can at least then make a better educated guess about that.
That's such a fine line you have to walk as a sales rep of a company like that. Like, no, we can't give away this information of other clients that are working in this, and also setting false expectations of a program that is very developed 2 to 3 years beyond, and saying, oh, this is how much they're making, this is how much you can
this is what they spend daily, this is what they do, like all that stuff. Besides not being able to share it, is just like you can't compare like numbers to letters kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just irresponsible is what it is. Like from a sales rep perspective, and then your fulfillment team trying to help you get there. That's a recipe for churn, as I like to see it. Is sales reps overselling what the possibilities of that affiliate program could be. So good to hear that you're like setting those expectations and like uh, helping them recognize what that flow looks like, essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Awesome. So we got a quick comment. Nasser says, "Hey guys, happy to be here. Happy to have you, sir. Thank you for being
Welcome.
here and hanging out." Before we move on, any other big deciding factors that you have that we left off the flow? Maybe something Everflow is doing different than the rest of the public that you guys have improved on, because you guys are a new player in the last 5 years, coming in hot. What are you guys
Yeah.
doing different?
If you are looking to set up a network or like a network for your brand, AKA, and to break this down for some people who don't call it a network, if you have a brand, this is for like the agency people, and you are setting up multiple brands you don't run on one side and multiple publishers on the other side you don't manage, that is pretty much a network. We set that up very easily, and I would say where we blow out the water. So whether it's an agency setup, a network setup, being able to set up multiple brands in one side, multiple publishers on the other, is something that the networks cannot do, and that we beat everyone else out in. So whether you're a publisher, media buyer, agency, network, if you were looking to set up multiple brands with multiple publishers, and not just multiple publishers, but multiple publisher types, we can do that for you very easily. And then two, if you are very specific with accounting or security, we are SOC 2 compliant, which a lot of others are not. And we do not force you to use our billing section. So if you want to maybe pay out on crypto, or you have a banking account, or other these that are very finicky with how your accounting team works, we are very flexible, and we do not need to lock you into a certain type of payment or using our payment piece.
Flexibility is that key word that I like to describe you guys as. Like,
Yeah.
you guys have so many features that I want in an affiliate program. Like, I want the second tier so that I can go and recruit for people, and others can recruit for your program as well. I want vanity code tracking. I want S2S. I want the dynamic tracking attribution that you guys offer the affiliates, because that's what they're looking for if they get into the real depths of some of those amazing affiliates that can make a big difference. So flexibility is a big keyword there that I like to see, and what you guys are doing really well out there. And in terms of like the clientele that you're taking on, what are people most interested in? Is this growth marketing? Is this affiliate? Is this performance? Well, what are the folks that are coming to you and your clientele? Like, what are they looking for?
They're usually looking for, at the top level, better data reporting analytics.
Okay.
They want to be able to, at the end of the day, on the click level, we're giving you everything from geo, device type, and then any subfield data you want to pass back. So a lot of people, when they grow to a site and they get established, you get all of your like affiliates, they've been running for a while. Your next part, I would say, is how do I get the best juice of this squeeze and get more of it with the squeeze I'm currently doing? And that's where we really come in, where we're going to help you save money while getting better visibility in real time to everything you're running. For like a vertical, we do a lot with anything lead gen. So home improvement, insurance, finance, anything there, because they usually just have more data they want to see. But anything that's also like mobile e-com, that's doing subscriptions, downstream events, post install events, we are able to give all of that visibility. So we get a lot of people in those verticals for the reason of them to want to have more of that and to see more of that. And then also too, I would say anybody that, back to what I said earlier, that's going to do like a custom setup, or have like maybe multiple different offer types where they're going to pay out one sector completely different with maybe like a percentage of revenue, with a completely other sector with maybe like a CPL, and that's different types of affiliates.
Good to go. All right. And that brings up the sponsor of the day. It's no surprise, this is Everflow. If you'd like supporting what I'm doing here with my content creation habits, and please support the channel, this podcast, go to dustinhouse.com/Everflow and go check out Everflow for yourself. They are not a paid sponsor, but I just believe in their product, and I'm an affiliate of theirs. Love what they're doing out there. Now let's switch gears here. You're working on your own. What's your
Yeah.
day look like, and how do you stay focused as a remote worker?
Okay, that's a question for sure. I definitely wouldn't push out my full day from start to bottom for everyone. I don't know who's listening to this, but for me personally, I usually get up, try to work out in the morning. I used to be a little fatty and eat too many sweets in the morning, so now I try to lock it up and eat a less food of that nature. Then usually just morning calls. Recently, I usually have calls from like 5 or from like 9 to 6 usually. So seeing where I can get out of those early to then send over whatever documents and kind of emails we have. Of course, I also go to different conferences whenever those would be. We attend a lot of the like affiliate summits, of course, traffic and
Sure.
conversion, LeadsCon. But day to day, it's really just kind of crushing coffee. And just kind of crushing emails, really waiting to see if anybody yells at me. If they yell at me, I go and put out that fire and then keep going.
Smooth, smooth.
Yeah.
So I
And a little yoga, maybe.
Awesome. Kristen, Big Time Evans coming in. That's a question for sure. That's very quotable from you, Drew. I guess
Thanks.
you are correct.
Yeah.
I guess like what I'm looking for more than anything is personally, I struggled early on in working from home and like staying motivated and not going into the office and not seeing people enough. And like I have to supplement that with calls and FaceTime with people. But do you feel like, do you have any struggles in that asset of, working from home can be a struggle, right?
Oh, yeah. I would say, I mean, I live in New York City, so I think a lot of it too is like, summertime. When the summer hits, that like answering calls to like 5 on like a Thursday or Friday, that kind of like ability to say, I could maybe move this or I could give this to someone else. That part's hard to kind of lock in. I would say it definitely from working here for 5.5 years, where we were lucky or ahead of the curve or however you want to call it. We were doing remote work even before COVID. And so my kind of month of figuring out the day in and day out of it, like my first year was definitely hell, where I was like, how do I concentrate? I got ADD. This is tough. I don't have people around me. What's like the lock in for it? And what
Yeah.
I found for me is it's like having certain things that I mark as starting the day and stopping the day. So I don't have the issue where I think a lot of non-salespeople have is like, I'm talking to different people I don't know every day. So
Mhm.
that whole idea of not having that mixed communication doesn't really matter. But like the cutting off, the having the this is now work done or this is when work starts, like having either like a workout, breakfast, or a shower mark the beginning of a day, and then having like the end of the day mark when I sit on my couch, like past 4, let's say. And then the end of the day is when that computer finally closes from being on the couch. And just kind of trying to stick to those and staying very strict on like those little, I would say, signs so that I can mentally turn on or turn off where it is so everything can align internally.
Well, I like those tips. Everybody's got their own different workflow. It's always interesting hearing what that is, especially from this. I mean, I feel like this is a work from home majority at this point of our industry altogether. It's just, it's turned that way. At least that's what I've seen in my career here. So uh, we've got some fans. Nasser's coming back, calls you guys a great platform. Appreciate that. We have numerous partners utilizing Everflow, so we've seamlessly integrated into our off-the-wall ad network. Awesome. Different side of the affiliate world working with you guys. And then Kristen Big Time Evans routine pieces are so helpful.
Spicy.
Neuro spicy brains. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Having those key transactions helps for transitions. I wish I could read. All right. You mentioned Affiliate Summit. Any highlights there that you want to capture for the audience here?
I thought this was a great show. This Affiliate Summit West that just took place, it seemed bigger than the ones past. I'm still trying to like understand post-COVID which shows become more populated than the others.
Mm-hmm.
But this one seemed very busy. I had the most meetings I've ever had. It seemed like a lot of good events from different partners were put on, and a lot of like big, like I would say like enterprise type clients and publishers were there. For me, it's always great to just get in front of like new publishers and new agencies to go through what we're doing, because at the end of the day, compared to some of the others like an Impact, we are the newer kids on the block.
Yeah.
And so going through new people, exposing them to us, figuring out how we can kind of make their lives easier. And then more so a lot with the agencies, like letting them know what we can do so they can expand their capabilities. I think there's a lot of agencies out there that only do one vertical and strictly have just not done other verticals because they didn't think they had the capabilities with the tools in their tech stack or in their tool belt. For us, we do a lot of talking to these other clients out there so that to our agencies to let them know the breadth of our capabilities, so that whether it is crypto, lead gen, B2B, we can facilitate that client the same way any e-com or Nutric or health client could. And so it's very interesting, I'd say, each year over year to get more eyes on us so that the conversation goes to, oh, I know Everflow, to, yeah, of course I know Everflow, to, oh, yeah, we use Everflow. We love you guys. I told Johnny over there to use you. And it's been good to see kind of that growth over at least my 5.5 years here.
Yeah, word is spreading fast. This affiliate summit.
That's we actually pay a lot of those people that put the Asian menus within like your door. We pay a lot of those at affiliate summits. So they just go around giving out Everflow menus. That's why.
Get your plumbing over here at Everflow.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we started.
Fabulous. All right, it is time for you to defend your post here, Drew. I've got a little bit of a tidbit here. It's nothing super spicy. It's a TikTok integration is here. Are you buying media on TikTok? Everflow has some kind of integration with TikTok is still existing. It's 2 years old, but is this still working?
Oh yeah, we didn't decide to make it not work. That's for sure.
Okay, good.
It's definitely still working. So the way that we work is people, whether it's like third-party media buyers, aka like affiliate media buyers, or your internal team, we have a direct API or conversion API integration with TikTok. So you can pass back all of the data into TikTok. For those conversions, you'd still be doing the optimization in there to, correct your media buying. We're also doing a lot actually on top of TikTok, which I'm glad you brought up. We're doing a lot with like in this year, I would say with an integration into TikTok and all of the movement they're doing into the store space where they're going to kind of turn all their creators into affiliates. So that's very exciting stuff that should be on the horizon for Everflow this year.
Awesome. So the TikTok nuance of becoming into that affiliate world has been really nice to see this last year. It's easier for creators to earn commissions, easier than ever, in my opinion. But good to hear you guys are making traction in that route. What makes a sales rep stand out in a good way when competing against other tracking platform sales reps? Great question, Ross.
Oh, that's a great question, Ross. I work with him, so I'll be sure to thank him for making me look good later. That's nice. So I would say on that is, and this is what we learned, is like, I'd say being honest. Like the amount of money that you make down the line from being honest is, I think, way more, it's way better and way larger if you help someone from the beginning. I do plenty of demos where I have someone and I tell them, yep, we're not a fit, or we're just not going to take your business. I have a slew of interactions from people thinking I don't know what I'm talking about, to getting mad at me, to saying they have to use us. Those are obviously funny when I tell somebody not to, and then they have to sign up. But kind of being honest and consulting them. We at Everflow take a very consulting sales approach where we have 2 senior guys that have done it before, where we go through and obviously train the rest of the team in that approach. But we go through and we figure out what it is you need. And there's, to like the earlier stuff with so many different ways of calling affiliates, there's people that just want influencer. There's people that just want affiliate. There's people that already have those. There's umpteen million different ways someone can get set up. And so I think that being able to talk to someone and honestly be like, hey, like you can get this set up with us, but it's not a simple use case. You're going to need tech to do it. Or, hey, this is an out of the box 3 clicks. We're going to be able to do it. Don't worry about it. Being able to give that level of kind of description or just say no, I think sticks in someone's mind where you didn't waste their time. So then 2 years, 3 years from now, when they get another job, they're going to almost always go back to you and go, hey, we talked, you saved me some time, would love to discuss this further. And that's what I would recommend, I think, for everyone, because it makes the whole industry's life a lot easier and saves time.
Outstanding answer. And that brings me to the lesson of the day, is that honesty is always the best policy. And when I get sales reps that are blowing smoke up my butt, I don't care for it, and I can sniff it out pretty easily. And I will ask questions purposely to see if they are going to do it that way. You and I have had a great relationship over the last year, where I was open and honest with you, and you were always back and forth with me. And I really appreciate that. That's how we make lifelong connections in this industry.
Yeah.
So,
Appreciate
well,
it. And we didn't plan that, everyone. This was not a dual, I guess, trustworthy into that word of the day. So that's good
I
timing.
mean, I invite people I like onto this. I have
Yeah.
the network to do it. So, how do we connect with you, Drew?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on email at drew@everflow.io. DREW, the rest, there's a bunch of those spellings all across this LinkedIn. Feel free to also find me on Skype. I don't know what that is, but there's a bunch of Drew Johnsons. Good luck.
Oh
But
my
LinkedIn
God.
and email, definitely, I'm there and happy to give anyone a demo or just kind of break down any sort of Everflow do's and don'ts if you need anything.
Awesome. All right. Do not look him up on Skype. That would be ridiculous.
There's a tons of Drew Johnsons.
All right. As we wrap this up, my episode on Thursday is going to be with Sal Conca. Don't miss that. It's going to be on YouTube optimization, and this is a skill set that every affiliate manager, not just affiliates, need out there. So you can help explain and make them more profitable with the influencers that you're working with. So stop by Thursday, 12:15, right here on LinkedIn. Drew, really appreciate your time. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you out there, man.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for everyone listening.
All right. Take care, folks.